Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I want to take a deeper look inside the edit, view, and action. So let's dig in. Till now, we talked about how to work with the create, the index, details, and delete. For the final step, we have the edit. The edit is similar to the create. So in the create, we have something like this. We can easily assign the data to this, then create. But in the edit, we need to select the record first versus the number one. Then we have the similar form and similar view, but there is some differences. In the edit, we have loaded the data inside all of this, and also we have the edit over here. So let's start working with it. At the first step, it's a really great idea to take a closer look into the controller. So I have the student controller and click on it, and here I have the edit. As you see over here, I have two edit actions. The first one is the simple one for loading the data inside this page, and the second one is for saving back the data inside the SQL database, and it has more codes inside it. So let's come over here and select the first edit and add the breakpoint at the first line of the code inside it. Then scroll down and select the edit and add the breakpoint for the first line of the code inside that. Now let's come over here and go to the back, and over here, suppose I want to edit the last record, the TTT. So come to the edit and click on it. After clicking on the edit, as you see, the first action is selected and my ID is assigned inside it. So if I take a look, right click over here, inspect, and I want to take deeper look inside the links of my edit. So this is the edit, and it is inside the students. This is my controller, the edit, my action, then the ID. The selected ID is 28 for the selected record. Also, I have different IDs for the different records. For instance, I can get inside the next one, get inside this, and the ID is 27, exactly like this ID. And for a better understanding, let's take a quick look inside the codes. So come over here and come to this. If the ID is null, so my ID is 28 because I have selected the 28, indeed this record. So if I hover on this, and it looks better now, and this one, and the ID is not null. Also I have the student, and if I click on the view, I have the data inside it. So the student is not null, also the ID is not null. So go to the next line and come over here, click on the F10 or a step over, and after that I have the await function or the method for finding the selected record data. Currently I have selected the ID 28, this record. So the ID is this, and I'm using the await to wait until completing this line of the code, until finding the student and assigning it back to the student object. So go to the next line and the F10 like this. And after that, I have the student. Now, if I hover on the student indeed is the selected record. It is the TTT for the name and the love for the last name. And you can see the last name, the ID, and also the first name. So I have the student that has the selected record data. Go to the next line using the F10 or a step over, and this is. Then return the view with the student data. Which view? The edit view. And if I take a look, I have the edit view or the last view. And this is the edit view. Load this view. It is similar to the create view. So most of these are exactly like the create view or the create web page. So let's get inside the controller, and if I continue, I can see the amazing and great result. Now I have something like this, and suppose I want to change it to the, for instance, Tom, and the password is Mayor, then the age and the grade 7, for instance. Then click on the save. This time I have the second action, and it is the action with these parameters. For better understanding, let's maximize this one. And if you click on the save button, then I have the HTTP post event or the action that is running. So if you click on the save button, it means post back the data to the controller. So the controller identify that by using this annotation or the tag at the top, the HTTP post. As the result, I have the ID and it is 28. Also, I have the ID, the first name, the last name, all of this. Get all of this from the form, indeed from this form, and bind it to the student. Then create the student. Now my student has the latest information, and if you click on this, as you see over here, I have the age, the time, and the grade also. This is not the TOM. This is the TOM in the other languages, not the English TOM, TOM. So I have the last name, the mayor, and also the ID like this. And if I take a look, go to the next line, come over here and go to the next line. If the ID, indeed the 28, equals to a student ID, it means that I'm editing the selected record. So go to the next line and check if everything is valid. Previously talked about this matter, how to check if the items are valid. And if I take a look inside the values and the results view, everything is valid, all of this. So I have entered the valid information inside all of this. Then go to the next line, and start updating the students. So it's updated, and save back the data inside the database or SQL server. Now if I take a look inside my SQL server over here, right click and execute. So the time is added over here and the mayor up to the end. And also I have used the await over here to update the SQL database simultaneously. And go to the next line. So it's really simple and straightforward. Then redirect to the index page easily and quickly. And what about the error? If the error occurred in any conditions, over here I have the cat, then check if the student exists or not by this ID. A student exists. Select this, Control F to find it inside the current document. So it is over here. And inside this simple and straightforward method, I have the ID as the parameter, and I want to use the context students to find the student. If the student exists in the database or not, then return true or false. True means a student exists, false means not exist. Then if the student doesn't exist, return not found, or the page with the code 404 or 404. And if the student exists, then throw the exception and the error. But currently I haven't any error, so let's continue and let's see the amazing and great result. And the result is like this. And also if I take a look, let's do it one more time. Suppose my entered data is not valid. To do that, come over here, edit, and come to the continue and write something wrong. For instance, for the age, I want to write something like this number, the really big number. And also for the grades, really big number, and save it back. Now go to the next line and the model state. If I hover on the student itself, this is the student, and I have nothing over here. The new data is not assigned over here. Why? Because the model state, if I come over here and come to the values, so this is the result. This is the valid, the age is invalid, and also the grade is invalid. Both of these are invalid because of the maximum available number. So this is not true and is not valid. Indeed, go to the next one and return only the student view and continue. So the result is like this. The value is not valid for age, and this number is not valid for the grade. First, we talked about how to add some custom errors for your column and the field. But we didn't add these over here, and both of these are automatically done by the Visual Studio and in the .NET Framework core. So go to the next line and everything is done. Now let's take a deeper look inside the design of this web page. As I mentioned previously, the design of this web page is exactly like the create. So get inspect, and if I hover on it, I have the edit here. The edit is heading 1, the student is heading for. I'm over here. So the next one, if I take a look, is over here. I have the container over here, and it is the div. And also inside it, if I take a look, I have the row of the data, and exactly like previous one, if I expand this, I have the form, and inside form I have the input, and it is hidden at the top to send the ID to this form, to controller, to find the record and to edit that. So this is the ID or selected ID, and it is hidden because we don't need to see that. Then I have the div, and if I take a look, I have the form group. Inside it I have the label to show this name, then the input, and also some error over here. Then I have the span to show the appropriate and dedicated error messages, as I mentioned previously in the create. Also, I'm gonna repeat that for all of this step by step. So let's come over here and put it on this and this one. Now let's take a look inside the edit. Come over here and come to this. As you see over here, I have the model import at the top, and then assigning the value to the view data and the layout. Then I have the edit, exactly this one. If I take a look, the student, this, and after that I have the row of data and the div. This is my div. If I collapse that, you can see it something like this. And after that I have the form ASP action. It is edit. So this is the action for the form, the edit. Indeed, I'm gonna run the edit. I mean over here, the edit. If I take a look to run something like this, the post back edit over here. And after that I have the another div over here to show the general errors and general error messages. Then I have the input. It is hidden, and it includes the ID or save the selected ID of the record or the student. And after all of this, I have the label. This is the label for the first name, I mean this, then the input for the text, and also the span to show the dedicated error messages to the user. Previously we talked about this in the create. Most of these are common between the create and this window. And finally at the bottom I have the save to submit the data. Which data? The data inside the form. And did all of this easily and quickly. Okay, excellent. I enjoyed a lot. Now we learned more about the edit view and edit actions. It's really practical and amazing. So far we learned how to work with the different views and the controller and also the actions inside the controller. So my mission is accomplished successfully for using the database first model to use the entity framework inside the ASP.NET Core MVC technology. And during the topics inside this section, we learned many great tips and tricks. And don't forget, if you want to be successful and professional programmer, you should do your best. You need to rewrite all of these or practice. So everything is possible with your effort. Try and try. And if you got any unexpected errors that I didn't cover in this course or inside my topics, don't be disappointed. Just open up the Google, try to search it. Also rewrite your codes from scratch. Think. Then you can be the great and amazing and also the professional web designer. With the best wishes. Thanks for your time.